real big experiences or whatever, but you're kind of dabbling, and I think that's great. But I feel like you've been dabbling for a very long time.
I probably have more than I know. And I think I was just telling you that, you know, it never really occurred to me that I had a spirit guide as a kid. But after doing one of those meditations where you go and you talk to your spirit guide,
right?
It was this lion, Leonid. And I'm like, I've known him. Like, he used to be in my dreams when I was little.
Wow.
And so, and he, you know, he's never really visited me much, but, you know, since then, but to know that he's been around. So, and of course, my grandmother, I know she's visited me since she died. I actually saw her. So, but
you saw an apparition, like, or did you see her like in physicality?
Yeah, it was when I was in college. It was within the year after she died, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I think I was home. I was at home, so it must have been the summer after my freshman year. And I looked over at a chair that I had in my room, and she was just sitting there watching me sleep. And I looked, and I just rolled over and went back to sleep.
That is so cool. Okay, so we have people on already. If you're here, please say hi and let us know that you're here and where you're from so we can say hi. I am visiting this morning with Beth, who lives in Florida. And she is like at my favorite place right now, at the beach. I love it. I love it. I love it. We're going to give everybody a few minutes to get in and get warmed up and start saying hi. But so tell me more while we're waiting on people to get here. Tell me a little bit more about your grandmother. You just rolled over and went back to sleep, like it didn't freak you out at all?
Nope. I just knew she was watching me. She did kind of come at another time where I didn't see her, but it was that following year in college, and I had a painting that she had painted in my room at school, and I was probably not being the little angel that I should be, and the little sign sticker on the back of the canvas fell off on the floor and from her picture, and I looked at it and I'm like, okay, all right, I get it, Grandma.
Wow, that is so wild. Okay, we're gonna say hello to a few people. TA is in Cocoa Beach. He said hi from Cocoa Beach.
Yay, that's only like an hour and a half south of me. Hello.
That is awesome. TA, you're about an hour and a half south of Beth. And it's good to see you. I know last time I saw you on a live, you were feeling a little puny. So I'm glad to see you here. I hope you're feeling much better. Simple Girl, it's good to see you here from Colorado. Hi. RB Ledger from Ohio. Nice to see you. And Crooks, Roxanne, good to see you from Tampa. Helena, hi from the UK. Okay, so more people are coming in and saying hi. So
hi,
as they're coming in, hey Dee, it's good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Debbie, good morning. It's good to see you. From New York, bless your heart. That's a hot spot right now. Good morning, Judy. Good to see you. Okay, so I have with us this morning Beth from Florida. Beth, go ahead if you don't mind. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, well, I am Beth and I teach high school biology online. I know a lot of teachers are going online right now, so I've been putting myself out there for anybody that wants questions, you know, or has questions about how to do this. I've been teaching online for about 8 years now. So blessed to have this job and to be able to work from home and not have to deal with all the craziness that's going on right now. So I've been teaching biology for about 8 years, and for 5 years before that, I taught in the brick and mortar in middle school science, earth space science, and physical science. So that's basically what I do, and I do it from home. I wear like my Aquarius AF shirt to work in because I don't always have to be on camera. I spend a lot of time on the phone with my kids.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, we're going to just say hello to a few other people. Jenny from Dubai, good morning. It's good to see you. I don't know what time it is there, but it's morning here. Norma, hi from Tennessee. TA, I'm so glad you're feeling better. And Dee's in North Carolina. Kimbers is in Nebraska. Hi, Kimbers. And Jacqueline, good morning from California. Bana, good morning from Ontario, Canada. It's nice to see you guys all here. And everybody else who's just kind of lurking in the background, good morning. It's good to see y'all too. Okay, so one of the things that, first of all, I want to tell you, whenever I first decided to do Roundtable, the very first time that we did it, it was horrible. Our Zoom, we couldn't get there was like this reverberation of the conversation that just kept going on. And Beth was one of those very kind people who reached out to try to help with my little sorry brain right here. But anyway, and so I'm really excited that she agreed to join us this morning. Time got away from me and I never did do a drawing, but I emailed Beth and I said, would you join me? Or I Facebooked her. Would you join me? And she was just so kind to say yes. And
then I went into freak out mode.
And she went into freak out
mode. And I'm on the phone with Jen. Oh my God, do you know what I just did?
One of the things that and I had the brief conversation with Beth about this earlier. One of the things that kind of interests me or intrigues me is that because she teaches biology, and then talking earlier, she has also taught physical science. Science-minded people normally don't really stereotypically don't normally get into spirituality. Because everything is like, we want to prove it, right?
Well, I'm finding when I went on my Gaia TV addiction for a while, until I watched everything, and then I said, I'm going to cut it off, and then I then went back a year later and watched everything that was new. But, like Dr. Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden, and they're scientists. And I'm actually in the middle of reading The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, which I am finding absolutely fascinating. I really need to have some time to pick it up. And so I'm not having trouble reconciling science and spirituality at all. I think it's totally related.
Me too.
And even like evolution, I know I have to deal a lot with that with my very religious students who don't believe in evolution, and trying to teach that to them and trying to help them reconcile it. And I guess that could be a whole nother thing where I could say that I think we're watching it kind of happen right now. But I mean, I really do. I think the shift that's going on in the world, and I think natural selection is, I hate to say it, is probably happening. And I think we've been kind of artificially selecting ourselves with medicine and technology, keeping ourselves alive a lot longer than we normally would have. And right now with this virus, where there's not a vaccine for it right now, it's like the universe or the virus is saying, silly humans, not this time, So I don't know. And then my feeling on viruses is kind of out there too.
Yeah.
Just looking at pictures of them, I think they're aliens. So
really,
I just like, where would they're not living. Where did they come from? How are they here? They take over a cell. They take over your RNA in your cell. And why are they here, and why are they doing that? So my science brain hasn't figured that one out yet.
Right. I remember whenever the first time I reconciled science and spirituality, I had listened to a talk by Greg Braden, who worked a lot with Joe Dispenza. I love him too. And I was like, well, that's what Jesus knew. Everything that Greg Braden was teaching, I was like, well, that's what Jesus knew. And that's why Jesus was so able to do all the things that he did. And you talked about evolution, that, and reconciling that with Christianity. And I believe that the Big Bang happened when God said, let there be light. Poof, there was a big bang. You know, I think it's all the same thing, just different vocabulary. That's what I think.
That was another thing from when I was a kid. I distinctly remember asking my mom about if God created the universe, where was God when he created the universe? And how can it go on forever? And I remember I was probably 6 or 7 asking my mom that question. So I was thinking about it all back then. So
yeah, somebody is saying, Jamie is saying that you have, no, not Jamie. Somebody's saying you have a mic issue.
Me?
Yeah. Beth, you have a mic issue. Liliana Canis. Are y'all not able to hear Beth? Let me know if y'all can hear Beth or not. It takes about a 20-second delay. So
okay.
Okay.
You can hear me.
Yeah, so we'll keep saying, yeah, y'all say, let me know if y'all can hear Beth or not. Okay, so a lot of people have different ideas about what's going on with this virus because you were talking about it. Good morning, Irene. It's good to see you. RB Leje says she saw paranormal in her kitchen. Glad she wasn't alone. A plastic bowl flew across the room like 10 times. She has a lot more weird things. Have you ever had any weird paranormal things like that? I mean, I know you talked about seeing your grandma. I don't know that that would be considered paranormal. I guess so, when you see a spirit.
I mean, I think that's probably about it. I don't, just weird things like where I know I put something somewhere, and you find it somewhere else, even though you've looked there 500 times. And of course, when I go down the rabbit holes on Gaia and the alternate universes and stuff, then I start going, is that what happened?
And the parallel timelines, all that stuff. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. Let's see, Jenny is 7 p.m. in Dubai. Okay, well, good evening to you then. Lillian says, finally, Irene, sorry, Florida. Hand Gorner, good morning, Hand. Jan, good morning, Jan. It's good to see you.
Hi, Jan.
I just sent you an email a little earlier. Jamie, good morning. It's good to see you from North Louisiana. Welcome. Jacqueline, Dr. Bruce Lipton is amazing. Science is very much a part of spirituality. She agrees. I agree too. They go hand in hand.
So I did think of a sort of paranormal thing. It was back probably during that time frame of, it was when maybe one summer during college or something, and I was in my room, my mom was in her room, and my dad was downstairs in the den, and we heard this crash, like glass breaking, and we all come running into the center portion of the house. It was kind of a split level, and it sounded like it was on the front porch. We thought that maybe the storm door had broken. We couldn't find broken glass anywhere. And we looked in the street, and the street was pretty far away from the house. We had a pretty big yard. No glass anywhere, but it was loud enough for all of us. Actually, I don't think my mom was in her room. She was in the kitchen at the other end. It was like all 3 of us heard it so loud. That was just strange. The people that live there now swear the house is haunted, but that's the only thing.
It's possible. Okay, so I just had a question for you. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, so we were talking about reconciling not science and spirituality, but Christianity and spirituality. We talked briefly about that before we got online, and you said that you way back, was it in college?
It was actually, I think it was right after I graduated, and there was a friend that I went to college with that lived in the area where I did, and we would go and hang out and stuff, and we got on a conversation about Christianity. And even back then, and I was brought up as a Christian, although we didn't, we weren't in church all the time, but we were Christians. And I told her that I thought that God is love and that love is energy. And I lost her as a friend over that.
Over that?
Yes. Just recently, I lost a Facebook friend because just see my cute little, this is what I call my Queen of Swords tiara. I ordered it on Facebook back in February for my birthday. It just came last week. This is why I'm like so happy to have it and wear it. But I guess the website was called Witches and Woo. And so this girl puts this, you know, one of those mean faces on there, and I'm like, what? It's pretty. It's beautiful. And I'm like, I like anything crystals. And the next thing you know, she was gone, because I guess it was the Witches and Woo website, and maybe she was afraid I was a witch or something.
Right, right.
It's just that I love crystals. I love rocks and minerals. I have a huge rock and mineral collection from when I taught earth space science, and a co-worker of mine and I did a service learning project, and part of that was that we got to have these rocks and minerals collection. So I hadn't pulled mine out in a long time, and it had been in the attic because after Hurricane Matthew, if you can imagine, since I live kind of right here, my house flooded. So it and the collection ended up in the attic after I dried it out. And so I just pulled it down while I was on spring break. And so I was like, this is what geeky science teachers do on spring break. So I had them lay it out all over the kitchen and going through them all. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. And so I have that collection. And then I have my little collection I keep on my dresser that's pretty, you know, that I'm going to use for my Reiki.
So as a biology teacher and as a physical science teacher with your rock collection, I'm thinking that in science, rocks and minerals have different properties, and in the spiritual realm, they have different powers. Do they line up?
Yeah, they kind of do. A lot of things, like a lot of times a crystal or a rock or mineral's color might have the energy of a certain chakra. So this is something that I'm just now starting to get into, especially since I pulled my collection down and I was starting to get into it. And one of the girls I watch on YouTube uses a lot of, she calls them stones, in her Reiki. When she does the Reiki live. And so she's been, you know, showing lots of new ones, and I'm like, oh, cool. So that's one of my goals, is to, you know, now that I have my collection down, it's to start going through them and kind of, now they're all categorized in, you know, like their hardness or their streak or their luster or their cleavage, or all those different physical science properties, and I want to start trying to organize them in their spiritual properties. So
right,
you know, like I told you before, I'm like all over the place on my spiritual journey, and that's just one of them. So
that's, you know, and that's kind of how I feel. It's like I'm all over the place. There's certain things that I feel very strongly about, like God is love, God is energy. I mean, that's it. That is a foundational, whatever, non-debatable for me.
Right.
But as far as everything else goes, it's like I am like that all over the place. So I can't wait till you start categorizing them according to their spiritual properties, how they line up with their physical properties. I'm anxious to see that, because I think we've always divided physical and spiritual, and really and truly one's not anything without the other. The spiritual couldn't be spiritual without the physical, and the physical couldn't be physical without the spiritual. So,
and that's something that, you know, when I, like I said, when I got onto my Gaia addiction, I really started putting so much of science and spirituality together, and it's not, you know, it is inseparable. It just is.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're correct. So tell us, where are you with, I know you said that your thoughts about the virus, you feel like, you know, they look like little aliens. Are you talking about the microscopic virus?
Yeah, if you look at a picture of a virus, there's so many different shapes, and they're just creepy looking.
Yeah. So
coronavirus actually is prettier than some of the other ones, but they're odd looking.
Yeah.
Odd looking creatures.
Somebody's saying that they feel like your voice is sounding like metal, and it could be that your necklace is interfering with your mic.
Oh, well, here.
You can be heard, it just starts to crackle.
Is that better? I can take it off.
I guess we'll have to.
I usually wear, you know what? I can run real quick. I usually wear a headset when I'm on the computer. I can grab it if that would help.
He did say it's not a big deal. Hi, Raymond. It's good to see you. He did say it's not a big deal. Hi, Michelle. It's good to see you too. And Missy, nice to see you. Teresa, good morning. Some people came in. Hi, Luna. Good morning. Jamie, nice to see you. I'm so with you. I am all over the place too, but God is energy as is everything. Yes. So what I was going to say is being all over the place. I said to somebody one time who was worried for my salvation, I said, are you kidding? I feel like I'm at like an amusement park, and I know that this main energy, God, for me, that's what I call it, God, is my daddy, and he's not going to let me get on a ride that I'm too short for. You know, right. I'm going to be safe. So
it's definitely, I'm so much more of a calm person since it's been about 2 years when I really started doing meditating and yoga and diving down all those rabbit holes. Right. that don't scare me. They make me feel better.
Me too. They make me feel empowered. Like I have some kind of say so in
right.
life. Yeah. Okay.
And not being afraid of tarot cards.
Not being afraid of tarot or anything really. There's this one scripture in the Bible, and y'all, I'm telling you, I'm going to have to start a Bible class so that we can go through and take these things apart. But not because I'm so smart in teaching it, but because I want us to all dig together. But there's this one scripture where the disciples are coming to Jesus and they said, hey, they're trying to heal people over there or something. They were doing something, but they're not with us. And Jesus says, as long as they're not against us, they're fine. They're working toward the same end. And in the spiritual community, it seems like the end that everybody's working to is love, right?
Yes.
Yes. And so like you said, that's that overriding energy of God is that energy of love.
And I the one friend that didn't like my beautiful Queen of Swords, Tiara, also was upset with me for not believing in the enemy. It's like the enemy there isn't an enemy. It's just a lack of love. To me.
Yes. Or fear.
Fear, right. Fear is a lack of hope.
Yes.
I've been doing the Oprah and Deepak Chopra meditation that just started last Monday. They were doing a free one. If you can find it on Facebook, they're a week in, and it's all about hope, and it's wonderful. Just a little half-hour morning. Oprah and Deepak Chopra get together every once in a while, and they do a little 21-day meditation on a subject. Yes. And they had done 2 before, like one like 6 or 8 months ago and one a year ago or something, and I really enjoyed them. And they have another one right now that's all about hope that they decided to do for free because of everybody needing hope right now.
Right.
And so it's making me think a lot about hope, and you've got to have hope. I mean, if you don't have hope, you have fear.
Yes.
I mean, don't have love, you have hate, which I don't think there's really, I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's hate, but it's just a lack of love is hate. So,
it's funny that you say that, because sometimes I think hate is a strong, unexpressible desire for love. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they just can't figure out how to say, I just want to be loved. I don't know. Makes me sad to some extent.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, what is I know you said nothing really. Oh no, talk to us about your spirit guide.
Oh, Leonid. I thought I did already. When I was a kid, he was in my dreams. And he would just show up. Like at first he was, you know, like the MGM lion that roars. My dreams would start and end with that.
Wow.
I remember telling my mom about it. And so, and then a couple times I would see lions in dreams, and then like for a long time, not seeing it at all until I did one of those meditations where you go and talk to your spirit guide. And sure enough, there he was, but he was bigger than life and regal and very kind of Aslan like, you know, from
Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah, but he said his name was Leonid. So I know he's there.
You know he's there. So do you actively talk to him on a regular basis? No?
No, I just because he's always been, I guess, in the background for me. I know I don't feel the need to.
Right. Right. You just kind of, okay, let's go or whatever.
Yeah.
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 You just
I know he's there. He's big and strong. Maybe he's my strength, you know, because the lion is the strength. So maybe that's what he is. He's whenever I need to be strong, that's him.
Right.
So.
I love that. Okay, so tell me, what is the funniest? I know that's asking you out of the blue. What is the funniest thing that's happened to you in your dabbling?
In my dabbling, I don't know that anything funny has happened. I can't think of anything funny. I mean, when Jan and I get together and read tarot, that's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny.
We don't know what we're doing, but we have a good time, and we're collecting all of our decks. And I was just over visiting yesterday. I'm like, you've got to see these decks. This new one I got is El Key. It's like She Who. What a beautiful deck if you haven't seen it. All the cards are like She Who Knows, or She Who Is Strong, or She Who, and it's all different, beautiful, just beautiful. Or She Who Is Warrior. This woman has this big shield. I mean, it's incredible if you
beautiful, yeah.
Chance to look at them.
Well,
so, okay, unfortunately, I'm not good at reading them. I just watch like you and other readers.
Well, I think you shortchange yourself when you say you're not good at reading them, because for me, tarot's just whatever you see in the card, right? I mean, there's a basic meaning, but then you, based on you, can expound on it and your intuition.
Jan thinks I'm better at it than I think I am, so she's.
So maybe one day we can get online together and you can do tarot with me. You can do a reading for me. So what is the most profound thing, other than what you already knew deep inside, as far as God being an energy and the energy of love? What like whenever you were going on your Gaia binge, what like made your head go, oh my gosh?
The whole quantum physics, the whole everything is happening at one time, the whole, you know, we're all interconnected, we're all one. And then you know starting to read Bruce Lipton's book Biology of Belief, and how your DNA doesn't determine what happens to you, it's your thoughts. And it's got a lot of sciencey in it. I think maybe I'm understanding it better because I have a biology background, but I think anybody probably could read it and get a lot out of it. Definitely recommend it. I'm only maybe a third of the way through it, and I just need to have some time to pick it back up. But I'm excited to do that.
This is Bruce's Lipton. Biology of Belief.
Biology of Belief.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you guys, if you're not readers, if you're not avid readers, you can get on YouTube and look. He's done Biology of Belief lectures, all that stuff. And there really is some amazing information that he's uncovered. And like you said, the DNA doesn't determine at all.
It's your thoughts, and that your cells have a consciousness. Each cell in your body has a consciousness
and its own brain. Yeah. So wasn't he the one because I've read Bruce, I've read Joe, and I've read Greg, all three of them. Wasn't Bruce the one who said that more people die, and this is nothing against the medical community, thank God for the medical community, but more people die from prescription medications and misdiagnoses or something like that than anything else?
I think he may have, but then again, like I said, I'm not all the way through the book.
Through it
so
yet. Okay.
he's just kind of, he right now he's delving into the science of, you know, what's happening in the cell. So that's the part I'm on.
Right. Okay. So so that's your biggest wow moment so far, the quantum physics.
Even though it's way above my, I'm trying to understand it, and all those guys are so good at putting it into
layman's terms. So let's talk about, okay, guys, we're on the other side of the, like coming up on the hour. So if y'all could start asking questions, that would be awesome. So if you have any questions for Beth, who is a biology teacher, has also taught physical science and dabbles in different spiritual ideas and stuff, definitely ask questions. So, okay.
And my Reiki, I'm
studying Reiki, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the first part right now. I've watched all the videos, and now I'm going through and reading, which is probably why I haven't picked Bruce's book back up, because I'm trying to go through. I want to go through every chapter, and I'm underlining things because I want to make sure I understand it before I go back to my Reiki master and get my first attunement. But I'm so excited about that, because I think that is tying in to, you know, that's quantum physics right there too.
Okay, so I was just gonna see, you're so perceptive, because that's the question I was gonna ask. Don't you feel like energy healing is science? Quantum physics, yes.
It is.
It's just moving energy.
I just got chills.
I love that.
It was energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we have a question. When something you manifest doesn't happen, do you lose belief?
No.
That was Jan, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Jan. I don't think I lose belief. Well, Jan knows that I'm trying to manifest this palm tree lamp that was on a neighbor's porch, and then he died, and the son took the palm tree lamp and said that everybody wants that. And I'm like, but it's mine. I've already told them both that I used to refer to it as my lamp. And so one day, right over here on my porch, there's going to be a palm tree lamp, and maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be 10 years from now, but it's gonna. You know, I haven't lost belief.
Right.
And I think I've just been blessed all my life. I'm manifest things, you know. I never have, you know, it's like I never, you know, there's always like a source of money will come in, or, you know, like when the hurricane flooded my house, I had to be out of it for 6 months. I lost everything that was 4 feet down, and, you know, but now, you know what I have a totally remodeled house, all new furniture, appliances, a new roof, all for like probably 1/3 the cost that it would have taken me to remodel my 25-year-old house.
Right.
So it's like I didn't, you know, I kind of manifested my house remodel that I'd been thinking of, not the way I planned on it.
Right.
But the universe gets to decide that. So
I was going to say, okay, Beth, you did not call in that hurricane.
No. But the universe decides.
Right. That's exactly right. Okay. So we have another question for you. Beth, have you heard Bruce talk about the nutrition or heavy metal detox to increase cellular capabilities?
I may have seen him say stuff like that. I mean, I've seen other people, you know, detox. A lot of people talk about the detox. So, and I think that's important, you know, having, you know, all this crap that we put in ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that was another thing, kind of, that when I started on this journey a couple of years ago, was in fact, it might have been probably the impetus of it was I was trying the Beachbody 131, and where you had different types of diets. There was the keto, and then there was going all veggie, and then mixing it all. And I've always loved veggies and would like to have, only veggie meals. And so about 2 years ago, I decided to go vegetarian, not vegan, but a mostly plant-based diet. And I get a farm bag delivered. I cheat, I eat tacos once in a while, or I do eat fish and seafood and cheese and stuff. But as soon as I did that, it was like 15 pounds fell off in 3 months without doing anything.
Wow.
Of course, I'm gaining it all back because I cheat, but I could just feel healthier. And this farm bag is locally grown, without a bunch of pesticides and GMOs and stuff. So,
right.
I think that helps.
Yeah. Okay. So, and Liliana wants to know, what do you think about regression healing? Have you heard of anything like that?
What you mean, like going into your past life regressions to heal?
I'm assuming either past life or earlier life.
Yeah, I've watched some things on that. I haven't ever tried it. I don't really know all that much about it.
So you haven't formed an opinion.
It sounds legit, but
yeah, it sounds legit.
My mind, when I read or watch all those things and read all those things, I keep an open mind and believe, well, it's possible. So
right.
until somebody proves it not.
Right. Have you ever heard of Neville Goddard?
Yes.
Have you ever read Neville Goddard?
No, I have not, but I've heard.
You made me think about him whenever you were talking about manifesting, because he was like a master manifester. So that's why I was asking if you'd ever
maybe you've mentioned him before on one of your talks.
I'm sure I have once or twice.
Probably.
Okay, so Dee wants to know, do you feel more connected to spirit when you're being a vegan or a vegetarian?
I guess in a way. I never really thought about it. I think it probably helps just because I feel better when I'm eating healthy. Right. If I eat junk, I don't feel good the next day. So
somebody's
never really
asking,
thought too much about it.
What was the name? Epiphany, can you expand on that question? Not sure what you're asking. What was the name? JC? If you could expand on that question, please, that would be great. Okay, so with your Reiki classes, and your background with science, biology, and physical science, do you feel like you're comprehending the classes? Like, are things clicking?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. And why do you think that is?
I guess I don't know, maybe because I have looked at cells through microscopes. I've, had, even though most of my concentration wasn't on cellular biology, but, studied genetics. And then, so I'm able to understand like what Bruce is saying better because I understand a cell. And then, but the Reiki is I guess it's because I kind of understand the quantum physics, maybe just because I've studied chemistry and I've studied physics and the atoms, not into a deep at all degree. So maybe it is helping me comprehend it a little better, probably. It makes it more believable to me.
Yes. And more matter of fact, this is just how it works.
Yes. Yeah. It's not where I'm going, I'm just not quite sure of this. It's just, when I see this, it's like, yeah, that's it. It's just like I always knew God was love and that was energy. It never was something that I had to be told, or it just, I knew it from an early age. I just knew it. It just
Right.
was innate.
Not because you were taught that, just because that's
No.
what you knew. Right.
Right.
Probably Liam taught you that.
Oh, Leonid? Yeah, maybe.
Leonid, yeah. Okay, I have another question for you, but real quick, I want to answer. Epiphany, that is Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard. You'll find a lot of information on YouTube. A lot of the stuff is that robotic voice that reads his stuff. But go to on YouTube Brian Scott, BrianScott, Brian Scott. He has a whole lot of Neville Goddard material. He reads the lectures. He does it himself, so it's a whole lot easier to it's a whole lot more palatable for your ear.
Is Neville, is he channel it?
Neville Goddard, no, he doesn't channel it.
It's just his voice.
it's just he's reading Neville Goddard's lectures is what he's doing. Neville Goddard, they called him the mad mystic of 38th Street or something like that, because he interpreted the Bible in a more mystical way. And he says that the different characters in the Bible are different states of consciousness that we actually go through. So,
cool.
But I don't want to get off on that right now. I want to talk to you. I want to ask you, how did you decide about Reiki? Like because there's lots of different energy healing modalities out there. What made you choose Reiki?
Probably because I have a friend that I used to work with back when I lived in Virginia, and she's in Idaho now. And one day I saw her post. Well, she's into energy healing. I think she does a lot more of the tapping and things like that. But anyway, she has a friend from high school who is a Reiki master, Carrie Wade. If anybody wants to check her out, Kerri Wade. And so she does live Reiki on Tuesday nights a lot. And so I started doing them, and I really could feel it. It felt great. And she offers the classes, and I was like, I'm going for this. So
yeah,
I did.
Okay.
I'm doing
Cool.
it.
So that's how you did it. That's how you decided. Okay.
And it meshed in with, it just seemed something that connected with the quantum and the energy that I could get my hands on, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
And then I want to incorporate my rocks and minerals, my stones in with that too.
Right.
So
and you can
that's my plan anyway.
And who knows what's going to happen, because we plan things and spirit turns us in different directions all the time. So as far as let's talk about the coronavirus and what's going on. And you already talked about natural selection and aliens and stuff like that. But like, if you could,
because I'm out there.
That's okay. If you had like, and I don't even know if you have children. We didn't even talk about that. But and you actually do have a lot of kids because you teach. But
yep.
Like, what would you say to people to calm them? To what is your best advice for people from a level-headed, reasonable perspective about what you can do in this time?
Well, of course, what they're telling us, stay at home if you can. If you go out, wash your hands. Don't, like couple of my girlfriends, we went and sat on the beach and had some wine last night, but we all sat our chairs. The three of us sat our chairs away. We didn't share anything out of our glasses or anything like that. And so things like that. I'm not convinced that it is as bad as they're making it. All you hear about is the deaths. You don't hear about how many people survive. I think that the media loves to get us upset because that keeps us watching. I think back in January, I pretty much stopped watching the news. because I would just get too pissed off. Just like, I'm done with you people. And I don't trust them. I don't trust anything they tell me.
I notice on Facebook, you'll take 2 or 3 days break from social media.
I did that this last week, even Facebook. I even like had, because everybody was just in mass freak out mode, you know, with the toilet paper. It's like, come on, there's probably people with stacks of toilet paper in their garage. It's like, why? It's not like a hurricane. Us in Florida, we should know this. It's not like a hurricane where the supply chains are going to be cut off. The truckers are still bringing things. Farmers are still making food. But if the world wants to shut down the economy, that's gonna be worse than the amount of people. Not that I want people to die, but in the end, you know, if we can't make you know, if we keep the economy going and we keep, you know, bring medicine manufacturing and healthcare manufacturing here, and we have that ability to treat people, but if the country shuts down, how are we going to treat people? I think it's just it's, you know, everything is balanced. And I think this one, the scales are just getting needs to come back to a little bit of reality. I think there's certain pockets of the United States that maybe they need to be, like New York needs to be in their house.
Right.
But here, like in our county, I think we've had maybe 4 cases.
Right.
You know, why are all of our beaches closed? And they did open up boat ramps because they had closed parks for boat ramps. And it's like, why can't somebody, and why can't we kind of, you know, some people go back to their normal jobs? It's just, I think that's hurting us more than the virus has I don't know if that calms anybody, really.
Well, I think what
you were saying you asked, but I go on my tangents
about not watching the news and about getting off of social media. That's like a self-preservation tactic. But can you explain, because, you know, I'm here all thinking about, okay, you got a science mind, so you understand how what we allow to ruminate right here can affect us. Can you explain a little more about that, about why you would distance yourself from that?
Well, it's totally helped me. I have, you know, the days that I get on Facebook and let all of that, you know, that craziness take me over, I start feeling it. I start feeling anxious. And when I don't, I'm calm and I don't mind sitting at home. And I've been living on my back porch and I don't get myself all wound up. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I better get to Publix because there might not be toilet paper, or I'm going to be sick. There's thousands of people out there that are sick. And if I don't hear it, I'm fine. And my body and my immune system is going to stay healthier if my mind is healthier. You know, typical Bruce Lipton, you know, if I'm telling my body that it's going to be sick, it's probably going to get sick.
Right. Right.
So I think it's, like you said, a self-preservation. I think it's for my health, not just my mental health. It's for my physical health too.
For your physical health, yes. Sheila Jack says she quit the news and erased Facebook. There isn't enough deaths to balance the turmoil. Nothing that says makes sense. They lie. I see it. So Dee wants to know, do you meditate?
Oh yeah, every day.
Yeah. And so how long do you spend in meditation? I know Joe Dispenza has some 45-minute, hour-long, 2-hour meditation sometimes. Do you spend that much time in meditation?
Well, I've been this past week doing the one with Deepak. And once he starts getting into the meditation, it's probably 15, 20 minutes. And I'm one of those people that fall asleep when I meditate. So I actually sleep. I bought some headphones or earbuds that are really tiny, so that I can lay on my side and I sleep with them. And I have my little note thing, and every time I wake up, I just stick it on some other sort of meditation and I get into it and I fall asleep. But I'm listening to it while I'm asleep. So
right.
And then sometimes, you know, maybe I'll take a lunch break and I'll find one that's 10 minutes long. Right. It just depends. the day, my mood.
Right. It just depends. Yeah.
Mhm.
Judy says she doesn't even believe the media.
No, I think half of it's bull crap.
Yeah.
You know,
so what do you say to the people? And I've had people say this to me. How do you respond to people who say, yeah, but Beth, you can't deny what's going on. Just turning your mind off to it doesn't make it go away. It's still there. What do you say to those people?
it goes away for me.
You're in denial.
It goes away for me because I'm at home and I'm not out there catching it or spreading it.
Right. Goes away for me. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't want to know how many people died. What does that do for me? What does that do? What can I do? I can't do anything about it. The people that are getting it have to have protected themselves. You know, yeah, maybe I will get it going to Publix. I don't know. I'm trying not to, and I hope my son doesn't bring it home from his job. But if I have a healthy mindset and a healthy immune system, you know, and we were discussing this last night on the beach, that there are probably a lot of people that have it and will never show symptoms. I think there are people's immune systems. That's like, I don't get the flu. I'll get a temperature for maybe 24 hours. And I think that my body just
rejects it.
Says it rejects it within, you know, of 99-degree fever will get rid of a flu for me usually. And
because isn't that what a fever is? Your body resisting
fighting
illness there?
It's the temperature going up, trying to fight the whatever it is that your body's fighting. The heat. And like this virus doesn't like heat. They say get in the sun, sweat, and drink warm liquids, as it doesn't like cold, as I drink my iced tea. But I did drink coffee earlier, so. And I'm outside and it's warm here in Florida.
Yeah. Well, I went to the beach yesterday and probably stayed out in the sun a little longer than I should have, but that's what I kept telling myself. Okay, I'm just protecting myself from the virus.
Got to get that vitamin D too.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, guys, listen, if y'all don't have any more questions, is there any final words that you would like to say? And for the teachers, Beth, for the teachers out there, if they do want to pick your brain about helping, you know, what are your, because you've been teaching school online for 12 years?
8
years. So you know what you're doing. So, and you probably come up with a lot of different creative ideas about it. So for the teachers out there who want or need ideas or whatever, can they contact you?
Sure. I have the YouTube channel that does not have my personal email address, but it's one I could still go and check. It's the one that I collect all of my stuff that I save and watch. That right now I don't think my channel has anything public, but you know, maybe one day.
Yeah.
That's another thing, you know, that's with my Reiki and my stones and stuff. But the email address for that, my YouTube site is called Enlightened Science. And unfortunately, that email was taken. So it's scienceenlightened@gmail.com. So if anybody has any questions about how to teach online, I'll go in and randomly check that email. Maybe I'll set it up to give me notifications or something. Like Zoom, I use Zoom. We just started using Zoom in January in Florida. So it's been a learning curve for that. I'm not really at the beach right now. It's like over there. But I have a green screen. So, and I can do things like share documents, and I can show you how to break kids up in groups to work together. Use Google a lot. Google Docs and Google Drive and Google Slides, and there's Google quizzes, and so, and sharing your screen, can make a PowerPoint, share your screen. The kids can write on it.
They can write on it?
On the screen, yep, there's an annotate. So like if you were to share your computer screen right now, it would show up and I could write on it, or I could share my computer screen and you could write on it.
Well, wow, you're pretty creative, or at least tech savvy.
Well, we kind of had to, you know, learn Zoom really fast after Christmas. We used to use something called Blackboard Collaborate, and we had been using that for years. So, but Zoom has its ups and downs, and Blackboard has its ups and downs. But
very cool. Okay, well, listen.
Organization and staying in contact with your kids is really important.
Really important. Yes, I agree. Well, I want to thank you so very much for spending time with us this morning. And thank you for telling us about your, I can't say his name. I want to say Liam, but that's not it.
Oh, Leonid.
Leonid.
Leonid, Leonid. I think there's like a constellation, Leonid, the Leonid meteor showers.
Wow, that is so cool. Okay, well, so thank you for telling us about Leonid, and thank you for just sharing everything with us.
You know, from all different directions.
From all different places. Yeah, well, you know, the universe
is Aquarius brain. I think, you know, our brains are always like
everywhere.
Constantly. It doesn't shut up.
Well, everybody is saying thank you for spending time with us this morning. And thank you for, Dee says, thank you, Beth and Cheryl. Free Flowing says, thank you so kindly. Much love to you. Thanks to both of you. From Judy, thank you. It's very nice to be in the company of like-minded individuals. From Jacqueline and Irene saying, thank you, Cheryl and Beth. So people are really glad you were here. I'm really glad you were here this morning.
That's good, because I was so nervous. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And I tried to organize some thoughts last night. And like I said, I can't even read what I wrote, and there's arrows going everywhere. And I just said, Cheryl's a good interviewer, and I'll just answer.
Well, you know, what's so funny is that almost everybody that I contact to get on here, they'll say, what's the topic? I'm like, I don't know. We're just going to talk. We're just going to visit, and it's going to go wherever it needs to go. So, but I love you to pieces, and thank you so much.
Thanks. Love you too. I enjoy your channel so much.
Thank you. And I appreciate your bravery for coming on and you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable and all that stuff. And everybody out there in YouTube land, in the Spirit Mail community, thank you for joining us this morning. And I look forward to seeing y'all next week. And until next time, go out and have a super duper day. And Beth, if you hang tight just real quick,
okay.
I'm going to end this live. Guys, love y'all. Have a super Saturday. Bye.